Hey guys, Isaiah here, back again with another video. I'm going to show you exactly how to build a B2B lead generation agency to $10,000 a month. This is by far the best business model to start, and I have some reasons why that is. So if you have an SMMA, if you have an e-commerce business, if you're starting any other business, IPGA, this is the business you really need to start, especially if you are starting out or you're a beginner, you just want to get started in business as a whole. This is the best model to start because not only this is going to give you the skills that will last forever, and maybe you don't want to grow a business, and you could transfer those skills into a high paying job. So, but this is for business owners who want to scale their business to $10,000, 20, 30, $40,000 a month. So this video is for you. Now, how to build a B2B lead generation agency to $10,000 a month. It's very, very simple. It's not rocket science. Really, the secret to scaling to $10,000 a month at zero is purely brute force. You have to do everything in your power. All of your focus, all of your willpower, all of your determination needs to go inside this business. It needs to go into your outreach. It needs to go into your sales calls. It needs to go into your proposal building. It needs to go into you learning about your service, about your mechanism, so you can get better results for yourself and for your clients. It's purely working a fuck ton, right? It's brute forcing your way to $10,000 a month. There's no secret. That's the secret. There's no secret. There's no secret mechanism. That's the thing. That is the thing. You have to work extremely hard to get to that $10,000 a month, especially if you're at a couple of grand or even at zero. Well, especially if you're at zero. But imagine this triangle as your business model vehicle. In this case, it's a B2B lead generation agency. And so everything you see here has something I call conducive excellence. I coined the term here. Conducive excellence is where a system works smoothly and it all feeds into every single subsystem of the entire system, if that makes sense. So as you can see here, this entire system has conducive excellence. Your entire business model, I should say, has conducive excellence. It all works synonymously together, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful business model to start and to scale, because everything feeds back into each other, right? And so I'm going to show you exactly what that entails. So first, obviously, we need a niche or niches and an offer. What I highly recommend is you go sort of broad in a niche, in a couple niches, maybe test out 2 to 3 niches, do rigorous market research on those niches. Now, why are you doing market research? Market research will allow you to craft offers effortlessly. And when you get on a call with a prospect, you know exactly what are their buzzwords, what are their common pain points, because you've put in the front work of putting a lot of R&D into market research, right? Getting qualitative and quantitative studies. So once you have your set of niches or niche, that's broad, because what we want to do is once we sign clients from here, we can see which results we've got the best for, and then we could just target that niche and go deep into that one. Right, so we want to cast a wide net initially, but then go extremely targeted down as we scale and as we get results for our clients. And then that feeds into our offer, especially when you're starting out. I highly, highly, highly recommend, and you should only do a performance-based offer or a strong guarantee. Preferably do not do a refund money-back guarantee, especially in short time frames, as that would just shoot yourself in the foot. Believe me, I've experienced that. Results don't come in 30 days, and sometimes it doesn't come in 60 days. That's just the nature of outbound development. But I would, what I did and what my business partner did, we did a performance-based offering and then a setup initial fee from $2,000 upwards to $5,000. And then if you want to go an extra mile, especially if you pick a broad niche that has a level 5 market sophistication, you can even guarantee, and I know I mentioned don't do small guarantees, but this is just for the setup fee. For the setup fee, if they don't, if they don't like the experience, don't say the results. They're not going to get results in 30 days. If they don't like the experience in 30 days, working with you inside 30 days, if they don't like it, you just refund the setup fee. But after 30 days, obviously you pocket the setup fee and you start getting them calls and get that booked call fee going. So if you want to go an extra layer on that, you can also do that model. But make sure it's performance-based offer, something like pay per meeting, pay per call, pay per lead, pay per show. All four of these models are very good to start with. I wouldn't do purely a revenue share at the moment. I would never do purely revenue share, but adding in revenue share would go later into your journey. But if you do have sales acumen, you can even incorporate pay per call and revenue share. Okay, so I would go to broad B2B niches that have good product market fit, has a wide total addressable market. So when you actually do your service delivery, you have a lot of people to target and to test, right? Because if they have a small TAM of, let's say, less than 500 leads, even less than 1,000 leads, even less than 2,000 leads, it can be a challenge to find a good angle because you don't have that much data to conduct your tests. But if you do have a market like that, I would do account-based marketing in that sense. Okay, so, but that's for a later video. I'll show you guys how to do account-based marketing later. For this, pick a broad niche. They have good product market fit. They have high margins. They have a good ticket size, preferably above $5,000 a month or more. If it's one-time packages, at least 10 upwards to $100,000, and of course even more if you can find companies like that need help. Okay, so that's going to feed back into each other, because as you deliver results for these niches, as you sign on these clients, you're going to feed that back into your offer and tweak your offer to fit the niche that is best for you, because you're getting results in that given niche and that given client avatar and their client avatars in terms of a B2B sense. Okay, so that is the foundations of your B2B lead generation agency. Now we're going to go down to your actual client acquisition and getting appointments for your clients and also for yourself. I highly recommend just doing email outbound at first. Send anywhere from between 500 to 1,000 and more cold emails every single day. And then also feed that back into your content marketing. With content marketing, I would just do LinkedIn posts. I would also go on YouTube, and I would also, depending on where your target market is at, generally YouTube is a good option, and generally LinkedIn is the best option. I would actually start with LinkedIn first, because you're in a B2B setting. Mainly business owners are on LinkedIn because that is a B2B social platform. So as you book more appointments for yourself, you're going to get feedback on what sort of promises, guarantees, angles work, and then you can feed that back into the niche, and then you can feed that back into creating the offer from the information you get from doing outbound email. So it's really a great ecosystem. And then you can even leverage the results you've gotten for yourself in terms of how many calls you're booking for yourself, and then feed that into your marketing and do posts around that, do videos around that, and then that feeds back into, the offering, because as soon as people look at your offering, they're going to go on your content and see what you're about. And then I'll get to this in a second. But then as we get meetings onto the calendar, and as we trot people along into that sales process, we're gonna inevitably sign clients. So this is where the sale comes in. And when you're when your setup fee is around $2,000 to $5,000, and you're charging anywhere from $200 to upwards to $700 per booked call, things can really stack up, and it's very easy to get to $10,000 a month in setup fees. But the real money is made in your actual service and delivering a pay-per-call performance model. So as you sign different clients from different niches, that's going to feed back into creating more targeted lead lists and targeted campaigns for that lead list. So, you can sign clients easier because you've already getting results ideally for one specific type of client, and you're also signing on these clients with a specific type of script. So you can keep that script, that winning script running in the background, but you can also build on top of that, right? So it's just one entire feedback loop. And so I put here, since your mechanism, is the way you also get yourself clients, because how you're getting appointments, how you're getting clients, you're literally doing the same thing for your own clients and for your own partners. So your entire business is built on a feedback loop and the foundations of you knowing your service and how to deliver, right? Because once you get better at your service, once you get better at cold outbound, once you get better at cold email, you get better results for your clients and you get better results for yourself, right? So this creates exponential returns when signing on more clients and doing more service delivery. The more you do, the better you become, and the longer you stay in this game, the better you do become, without question. So I wrote down here, as mentioned, $2,000 to $5,000 upfront fee. I would, in very, 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 very small cases, I would only recommend performance-based only with no setup fee, but at the end of the day, you guys have to get paid, you have startup costs, and you have to pay yourself and pay for that software for the duration you're not booking calls, okay? And this allows the prospect to have skin in the game, because when they're paying, they pay attention. And so ideally you want to charge at minimum, even more if you can, $200 to $350 or more per booked call. That's going to depend on what a client is valued to them, what their client LTV is. And then ideally you want to have a 3-month contract and a refundable fee within 30 days. Now you can play around with this and you can test what works for you. You can have a 3-month contract. You can have a month-to-month contract. Ideally, you would want to have, actually I'm going to put in here, ideally, you want to have a 6 to 12 month contract, but that's unlikely if you're beginning. But how you retain them for that 6 to 12 months without shelling them inside a contract is you position your offer as a long-term solution and as a long-term sort of partnership that you're doing. So when a person comes on the call, they don't have crazy expectations, because you're not saying, hey, yeah, we'll deliver 30 to 60 calls in 30 days. And when you're sending out messages and offerings and angles like that to the market, they're going to have wrong expectations when you start to deliver and you actually start saying to them, hey, it actually takes 2 weeks to warm up the emails, and we still need to test. We do 10 tests minimum with 50 different variants, and usually that takes about 2 to 3 months. So you want to manage their expectations, and how you first do that, even when they're cold prospects, is angle your offer in a way where you're positioning it as a long-term solution. So for example, you're saying, hey, we can scale you to 100K a month by booking you 20 appointments a month in the next 12 months, or we work for free until you do, or we, guarantee, or we do this on a performance basis, right? So I would highly recommend doing that, but just to get quick cash in the door and to get your feet wet into actually doing your service and to, getting the first jitters off. I know how it feels when, you're beginning and, you have that first sales call, you have that first meeting. So you just want to get those jitters off and get your feet wet. But I would keep that long-term vision with your business and for your clients. So really the simple math is this: all you have to do is sign 3 to 5 clients every month and book them 5 to 10 or more calls every single month. You don't have to do this forever, as you can transition into partnerships as a growth consultant or a growth partner, and retain the client even longer and do more for them and collect revenue share. But you don't have to be a growth partner or growth operator to do this. You can still do this as a B2B lead generation agency. As I mentioned, you just have to angle your offer as a long-term solution to their problem. And when the partnership gets deeper as the months go on, pause. Right? So you can do more for them, right? You can craft more of their offerings. Maybe you can do paid ads for them. Maybe you could do content creation for them as well, right? So it's more expensive to it's more expensive to sign on a new client than it is to retain one. Always keep that in mind. So maintain retention for at least 6 months. And how you do that is, of course, having a good client experience and having great delivery, which is where we're about to move on to. But yeah, literally all you have to do to make 10K a month is sign on 3 to 5 clients and book them, all of them, at least 5 to 10 or more calls. Ideally, even more calls, but then you're at 10K a month. But then if they retain for 6 months or longer, you don't have to keep signing on clients, especially when you have a performance-based offer and you're also leveraging revenue share as well, and you're doing more for them. And then to make 20K a month, just double the output and double the numbers, grab a percentage of rev, or start charging retainers. Very simple to get to those numbers. But the hardest part is definitely getting from 0 to 10. But once you're at 10, it's easy to get to 20. That's for sure. Let me take a sip of water. I'm very professional here, right? This is off the cuff, guys, by the way. I don't have any script for this. So hopefully you found some value in this. But yeah, so now we move on to client fulfillment. And since you're not hiring anybody to do this for you, you're not hiring a media buyer, you're not having to go through rigorous education to understand these things, to understand how to do cold outbound, and to successfully book meetings and sign clients from those booked meetings. Client fulfillment is very simple because this entire process that we just did for ourselves, I didn't even get to the first hires, but let me get to this point. This whole process that we've done for ourselves that got us to that paying client, we're doing the same exact thing for our clients. The same exact thing. We're not changing anything about this process, which is the beauty of this business model. But I have here your first hires, especially going to, trending to that $120,000 run rate a year, $10,000 a month. Your first hires will be an SDR and a VA. You don't need an inbox manager because the SDR will manage the inbox and will also call the leads for you. So your booked call rate percentage will go through the roof because they're going to call those warm leads as they respond positively to your copy, to your stimulus. And they can also manage your clients' inboxes as well. One SDR can typically manage 3 to 5 clients. Anything above 5 is it's a lot of workload for them. But I would definitely incentivize them with a retainer and a percentage or a performance fee as well. And then your second hire will be your first hire will probably be a virtual assistant, and then your second hire will be an SDR. Because really, you don't need an SDR when you're at $10,000 a month. You can do everything yourself and have high margins. But if you want to scale quickly, you want to hire quickly, because hiring is leveraged, and that will get you to that 30 to 50K a month mark. So I would highly recommend doing that. And then a VA would just take care of the menial tasks like scraping leads, managing just admin tasks, right? Just things that you shouldn't be doing. You should be managing your clients' accounts. You should be creating campaigns, and you should be working on that business and moving it forward and seeing what the next best step for you is and creating those partnerships, as I mentioned as well. But yeah, usually you get 2, 3, 4 SDRs as you start to scale, and more VAs as well. But there's also case managers, account managers, campaign managers, operation managers. But that's when you're at a high level, like somewhere between 50 to 80K a month and beyond. So client fulfillment. We have delivery, we have experience, and if we get those two right, we have happy clients. It's that simple. So you can see the thing about delivery is, of course, you have to deliver results. You have to deliver results. Of course you have. But in my experience, your delivery can be subpar, but if you maintain the client experience and the client relationship, they're going to stay on with you for many, 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 many moons, for many months, even if you're not getting results. And I'm actually going to tell you a story here. I had a client, and we were doing cold outbound, cold email for them, and they had a software. And this software is one of those softwares that is not really a need. It's a nice to have, right? It doesn't really solve a direct problem. It was sort of like it was something similar to Grammarly for corporate businesses. We couldn't crack the code for this client, right? We ran campaigns for 8 months. Not a single ROI came in for those 8 months. Not a single sale. In those 8 months, there was 0 sales. right? Very, very, very minimal bookings, like 2, 3 a month. But we were testing. We were in the back end testing rigorously. We were in the back office shuffling the papers. You know those movies with the stock market. You know, everybody starts going crazy. Everybody's on the two phones. You know, back in the 1980s and 90s, we were like that. We were scrambling. We were trying to figure out how are we going to make this work? You know, we tested over 200 angles. We tested over 50 different offers. What is going on here? They didn't get an ROI for almost a year, but they still stayed on for those months. Why would a client stay on when they're losing money? That's the truth. They were losing money. Now, of course, we figured out the best angle and we got meetings and then eventually got the bookings. We eventually got the cash coming in for them from those bookings, and validating that sales process and validating the angles and letting those run, and figuring out the campaigns, right? We did that, but that came in like month 8, month 9. But we cracked it. But during that 8 months, it was pure hell, right? They didn't see an ROI, but we kept that relationship firm, and we always told them what we were doing. We always told them what we always told them what we're going to do, and we all told them what we're doing right at that very moment. And if there ever was a problem, we would always tell them right now, like, hey, we're having deliverability issues. Expect meetings not to come in, or very, very minimal meetings not to come in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Revenue is going to be at an all-time low in the next couple of weeks because we're figuring out this deliverability thing, and meaning our system is not going to be at 100%, or at least 90%. Right. So since we had pristine account management, since we had the wherewithal to keep testing and to not give up, they still stuck with us. Right. So as long as your client experience is A1, you're going to retain the client, but of course deliver your results. Because there was another client, it was a 3-month agreement, and after the 3 months, they didn't keep signing on with us, but we delivered them extraordinary results. I was baffled by the results we were getting. And by the way, this is paid ads for the e-commerce niche, one of the most sophisticated niches in the entire world, right? One of the most if not the most challenging niche to get meetings in, to get sales in. We delivered an amazing campaign for them, one of the best in the market, for sure. But they still didn't retain with us because at that time, our account management was very, very poor. We didn't maintain the relationship, and we didn't have the right frame. So they left, even though the results were extraordinary, right? So you can have amazing delivery, but if your client experience and client relationship is shit, you're gonna lose a client. But vice versa, if you have terrible delivery, or subpar delivery, I should say, but have a tremendous client relationship, client experience, they're going to retain. And this is why, I put directly, happy clients is directly correlated to the client experience and client relationship. And then that feeds back into the delivery. And of course, delivery goes into the experience. But then once you have happy clients, that's when referrals start coming in. That's when case studies start coming in. That's when content, like video testimonials, you can use that as content, right? You can use their results as content. And then these things feed back into your delivery, because now you're confident in your delivery. Now you can have more claims. You can have bigger claims because you have these referrals and case studies. And, that feeds into the experience, because now you're happy about their experience. You're happy about the referrals you're getting. You're happy about the case studies. They're happy to give you those case studies, and it all feeds back into this client fulfillment loop. And the thing is, it feeds back into what you're doing for yourself as well, into your sales process, into your marketing, right? Because you're using the case studies as marketing now, into your outbound processes, right? Because now you're getting results for them. Of course, you're going to get more results for yourself because you have more knowledge on how to test, different scientific methods to use, different mental models to use in your campaigns. And then it all leads up to you, right? It all starts with you. And now you feel good about yourself. And especially at the beginning, to 10K a month, really until you hit, you have a full suite team, the business is you. It's directly correlated to you, right? You are the only one moving the business forward because you are the only one pushing energy into it, directly into it, right? So at the beginning of things, you have yourself, and at the end of things, you have happy clients. And that is directly correlated to how healthy your business is, because it's directly correlated how healthy your mind is about your business. And that's how you get to $10,000 a month, ladies and gentlemen. This is definitely more theory-based, not a practical step-by-step guide, but this just to show you how great this business model is and how easy it is to start. Because you can literally just slap on, hey, we're doing a performance-based offer, no upfront fee. Can I work for you? And you can get your foot in the door like that. It's very, very easy to do, very simple to do, because especially nowadays, businesses are crying out loud for good salespeople, great salespeople, and great marketers, right? So if you can get your experience now, as especially as a young man, a young woman, young men in this case, I know my message is predominantly going out to males, but anyways, before I go on many different tangents here, hopefully you found this video valuable. And if you do want me to build this with you and get you to $10,000 a month really, really quickly, and to skip all those steps on how to test different angles, how to pick a niche, what offer should I do, how do I sell, what does the sales process look like, how do I hire my first SDR, how do I hire a VA, and you want pure accountability, hit me up on Instagram at Isaiah LeBron, and we'll set up a meeting. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do, is just create a growth plan for you on how we'll show you on how you're going to get to $10,000 a month. So hopefully you found this video valuable. Give me a like, thumbs up, whatever. We'll see you in the next vid.